makes this organization possible. Restrooms are there. We also have some water and snacks in honor of our law enforcement. I'm going to open this up with a word of prayer, and then we'll address. We promise not to bombard you, but we'll let you know when events like
Republican Club. We are sanctioned by the South Carolina Republican Party as an auxiliary group. These are the thoughts, and this is a Republican. I do not. If I seek opportunity, not security, I want to take a calculated risk to dream and build, to fail and succeed. Excuse me, I'm American. One or two other little things here. I talked to David Harrison about a month ago when we were doing the invitations for this event. Amy Williams is here, she's on the school board. Heather Mitchell is the president of the Pickens County Council. Excuse me, what I said.
Just be civil, and the questions need to be directed to all candidates so everybody has an opportunity to respond. We're going to start with a 2-minute opening statement, followed by questions from the crowd. Each candidate will then have 3 minutes to respond to those questions. Our first gentleman tonight is...
My name is David Hubbard. I'll tell you a little bit about my background, my experience. I worked when I left last February to run my campaign to be your sheriff. Throughout my career, I had the opportunity to do, when I was over emergency management, I was able to, I really think those things have set me up to be in front of you guys today to be running as your sheriff, because I know how to make the changes that need to be changed in order to provide you guys the best services we possibly can.
If you think running the campaign is hard, try living with 4 women. Did not get to spend as much time there as I desired because dangerous to the training lieutenant capacity. I am in charge of certifications and training for every day. A good day of the quartermaster position, which is equipment. That I am so glad you're here, and I look forward to serving you as your sheriff. And I pray daily that God will be with you.
One in history and a master's degree in criminal justice. 17 years ago, I was fortunate enough to join the Pickens County Sheriff's Office to Chief Deputy. On behalf of Pickens County, Pickens County for the past 15 years. I've been a sergeant over a criminal investigations unit, later a lieutenant, eventually captain over all criminal.
To called to do it, but no one asked it when you go to college. Tommy actually gets the first question from the crowd, so now it's time for crowd questions. Rick has a microphone. He's going to be bringing that over. He'll come find me.
Sean Owens, Peckensville. I just have a question.
Appreciate the question, Sean. Yes, I do live in Pickens County.
I too live in Pickens County. I live just downtown Easley.
Hillendale and Liberty, and literally, if you want to see one of my signs, it's at 211 Hillendale and Liberty.
Yes, I have lived in Pickens the last 35 years. I pretty much raised my family here, and all my kids graduated from Beasley High School. So I'm very proud of that, and they're all doing well in their careers. All first responders. Got 4 kids, and they're all.
Thank you for the easy question.
Introduce yourself, please.
Heather Mitchell. First of all, I just want to say thank you all for being here. I think Pickens County is so lucky that we have so many great candidates running for sheriff. My question, hopefully it'll be an easy one, but just wanted to know from each of you what your experience is with direct supervision.
At that time, I supervised a unit of 8 criminal investigators. Eventually, I became a lieutenant, supervising our budget on a daily basis. We have
church, it's a different type of budget. You have the committees, they're asking for money, and those be the people that help you. And if they want to get promoted, and so they will continue.
First supervisor's position was in to be done. When I was provided my first taste of a budget, that budget that I had, that I could have upwards that I took on, and
Because there's a big difference. Mike can attest to this. They have a rule, a golden rule, 6 guys that were our street level drug interdiction guys as well, the deputy commander.
So in the house, knock on the door if we could be done, and I can see that you.
those calls need to set up some kind of way that we can get a list would be the first thing we would do, because
And it comes out to make all of those decisions.
It's a very important issue that to suffer on their own. And we replace the batteries in their
Next, now,
the things that we can check on and make sure that they're, okay, and what we can do to assist them is real good. They've got tons of programs once every couple of months.
Already gained. Start with the assets that are there. It's just like our mission is to end crime. It'll never end.
homeless people to this resource. I think for us to address it, and if we have we reduce our, it's because they know there's a resource here, and they're bringing.
Not him. He cannot be here. And I was like, what? I have in Seneca. Seneca is completeless shelter. They're on drugs. We're taking a homeless person that's ruined it everywhere else they've gone.
And I don't mean, I think if you could.
3 minutes, we have 5 minutes on this.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Everybody's safe.
First and foremost, to make sure that our deputies that deserve an office is that an individual, I provided him a spreadsheet that had a step culture within our agency, and we can have good officers in the minds of the youth. That what I see with the 13 things shouldn't exist. The ability lister, but you can. And I can provide
What you're asking? Well, to address the question, shows that if you can provide services to the jail, I don't know, 15 years. We have not for a resource-rich department county. The FBI says we should come to council day one and get there. I had a case. Build more jails. We have to be willing to pay our people in SCDC a little better.
You trace it back, it'll go back to drugs. I want these jerks that has a rough and grandpas loose. I'm gonna live starts when kids are 12 and 14. 6 years in Pickens County schools, but the DARE program, what they don't realize is what to look for in DARE violence call. Jail. You need to start.
That's fine. Right now, most of what we're doing
Chief deputy 2 years ago. You're both elected sheriffs.
I said 100 feet. Let that go, and I bring that to the top.
have a good relationship with county council and dispatch center. I don't know if all you, but if you divide our citizens, because that's what you give me money and you
a bit of a weird, and then somewhere there, I would. And the reason I say that is because in doing so, it's to serve the city. But at the end of the day, as long as who gets to stand in front of a camera and say,
ask the last question is co-chairman of the Pickens County Council, and he's on the ballot this year too.
So we're building a world-class environmental enforcement. They like to be called environmental enforcement. We'll have our own cops to take care of a problem these folks want to deal with. So,
Absolutely agree that dispatch should be in the same spot. I'm at a meeting, and I could be telling them something, typing. It's just literally they just said it, and so that's very important. And I definitely would agree that having them all together, take that on and make sure that it's done. But that's what I'll do.
Like I said a minute ago, I would give you, I'd take a third. I think we all need to share. There is a possibility that call can be dropped. Okay, could you imagine your family member having a heart attack and a call back giving up? If I give up all of it, then I don't have any stake in the game. Okay, we would build a lot better system. A system. If you give us money for litter control officers, firm believer, then COVID hit, and that went away.
thank you for that, Henry, and some extra training money. And 100% would ask that from the product is good. That's our lifeline. Elevated even today, and it goes back to all focus on our citizens. Picking up trash, uncertified officers that can
Let me begin. are not convicted of a crime. We utilize trustee labor. Doc, to answer your question, I just want to if you were telling me, I will absolutely give you that. On board that the litter positions that existed, I believe it was 2013, they were reallocated. Well prior to me. But yeah, I would absolutely figure out how that structure works, and I think that.
I wanted to get involved in that, and I said, wait a second, because I didn't want to be unfair that others didn't get to participate in.
Rick, I think we're getting pretty close on time. Then get time for one more question, then closing remarks.
Right here. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
Dennis Gallagher from Easley. Two-part question, but yes or no will probably work fine. What would be your response to a mandate from Washington to pick up lawful weapons from residents of Pickens County? Second question is, do all the officers...
Washington, D.C. didn't elect me. If I was your sheriff in Pickens County, you guys elected me as your sheriff. And there's a simple thing we can do. I can bring you all in a right hand. You guys take the same oath I took, and guess what? You carry your gun. Nobody's going to take your gun. Like I said, you guys, not somebody from D.C. or wherever. You know, Pickens County is the only thing focusing on things that are going on outside of our county. Because always, you got enough problems, enough headaches, dealing with everything you got to deal with as a law enforcement officer, especially the head guy. But that will never happen in Pickens County. And tell me I don't know, but well, let me put it to you this way. With Tommy and Chuck sitting here, these are great because that is the has to protect themselves. A little more about that.
It's funny you talk about that, and we'll go on about our business because anywhere they want, that's actually one that we're in date. Trying to encourage them to wear their vests and could not convict a load-bearing vest that goes on the, you would literally a detective that keeps their vest in their trunk 80 to 90% of their stead when their vest is up and their carrier, and I will cycle it back through to my stove trunk.
So this is probably easily the most every time. A well-rated for the people who keep and bear arms. I recognize the executive authority of the sheriff as the chief law enforcement officer of the county. Regardless to stand up, we stand up, and we show them we're not going to put up with that. And I'm prepared for that. With respect to the question about and our frontline deputies are
time areas. The time that you call to the time that we're not going to do that, and whatever that takes, if we all end up on the news, then that's how it'll.
So Tommy gets the opening last statement, and then we'll pass it back around to Daniel to close us out.
Opening and closing.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, close the statement.
All right, so obviously I'm standing behind a mic, and I have warned every single person that's ever heard me speak, do not put a mic in front of me if you don't want to hear about God. And I have not had a question quite yet that has given me that opportunity to profess my Lord and Savior, so I'm going to do that real quick. I am a follower of Christ. I was saved at 19 years old. I'm a part-time youth pastor, and that is what drives every decision I make. That is what guides my moral compass. So first and foremost, that's something that you can count on from me as sheriff. After that, I am a believer in humility and leadership through service. When I say humility, it doesn't mean that I stand before you as a man that lacks ego. I don't stand before you as a man that would say I lack pride. If anything, I suffer from those tremendously. But the difference between me and many men that I know is I recognize it. And I wake up every day and I pray that God will never make from a leadership position is being egotistical. Because it can take you from a good leader to a terrible leader. Leadership through service. And what does it mean? It means that the man at the top serves the most people. And that's who I want to be as your sheriff. I have shown through my 19 years at the sheriff's office that I am a man of service. I served way before I ever even thought about running for sheriff. I've been a mentor, a coach, a youth pastor, Meals on Wheels, any opportunity, Foothills Fentanyl Fight, any opportunity I can to make the citizens' lives better, because I understand that every leader, to be a great leader, has to find people to serve. And the sheriff serves the deputies. And if you ever truly want to find yourself, you have to lose yourself in the service of others. Thank you.
I want to begin, or I want to end, I suppose, similar to how I began, thanking all of you for coming out here. And again, I want to thank these gentlemen for not having any other things going on, because they felt the need that this was important enough to stand before you and answer the questions for our community. So thank you, guys. We are entering into, as I said before, the most important election in Pickens County. And it's the most important election because it's not just about for how to combat crime in Pickens County, and somebody capable of delivering tangible results. Since I became chief, compared to our neighbors. So the state.
Reputation of the sheriff. If a deputy is found to be sleeping, lying, they will be let go. Not going to do this, but to not take money from anyone while running for sheriff, because I felt like when you take money to race who's doing good based off of signs, I ain't gonna make it. But I believe I have the silent majority, and so I just wanted you guys to know that's why you don't.
Thank you guys for being here. It is nice to see that this is important to you guys as it is to us, this sheriff's race, because it is the most important elected official in this county. Your law enforcement guy, your sheriff, is the top law enforcement guy in the whole county. So it's extremely important, and I appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to listen to us and ask us all these great questions, which tonight I appreciate the good questions. When I was made of operations, I was asked to transition the sheriff's office over to another purchase for the sheriff's office. So I've talked to the sheriff and asked him if I could handle it my way. What I did is I found some seized guns in our property and evidence room and started selling seized guns legally, not illegally, it was legal. But I did sell seized guns from the sheriff's office. What you need. Grants are a great tool out there for everybody to look at. In it right now, the food costs about $500,000 a year. That food service. So there's money out there if you know how to look for it and you're actually eager enough to go for it. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
The slate that we have offered to serve for sheriff is a wonderful slate. And I want to thank you all again for your willingness to serve. And I want to thank the crowd sharing information, their insight, a lot better than Facebook, I'll say that much. Don't forget the sign-up sheet that we